Welcome to Tubbie Talk, where a group of nerdy best friends hop online to talk about everything life, parenthood, gaming, and probably embarrass themselves. Now let's get it started. All right, everyone, welcome back to Tubbie Talk. Back for another week, and we're so excited to be with you, and I'm excited to be your host today. My name is Sierra, and I am here with my fellow Tubbies, Danny,
Howdy ho.
Trevor,
What's good?
and Kennedy.
Hello.
And today we are going to be diving into a little bit of a more serious topic, as serious as the four of us can be together.
So serious.
Which is clearly not very. But yeah, we're going to dive into talking about big topic of friendships, from friendships back in the day when we were younger to making new friends today as old people, just kidding, as young adults
gosh.
with
Wow.
kids, young parents, who are kind of more solidified in their ways. And yeah, so I guess I'll just start off by asking the group, what do you guys feel like has been the biggest change in your friendships from, say, like 10 years ago to today?
I mean, I can kind of go first. I don't
Take it
even
away.
know. First of all, my best friend hasn't changed. He's sitting right next to me over there on the screen. But I don't know. I think honestly, I haven't really made that many new friends in the last 10 years, to be honest. So
Mhm.
some of my college friends were really close at the time, but we have we just don't talk anymore because we live in different states at this point.
Mhm.
So really, it's just kind of me and Kennedy. It's just me and Kennedy as friends. I have other friends. Like you three aren't just it, but you guys are definitely the closest. I don't know what's changed. Kids mostly, I think kids, and so I don't have as much time to go hang out with other people. So probably
Yeah.
the biggest impact.
It's fair, for sure.
Also, I'm 10 years ago, I was single too. So
Wow.
yeah, 18. No, I wasn't single 10 years ago. I was 18.
know
that.
Wait a second, I'm
I was
28.
like, wait, how long have you guys been together?
No, I wasn't single. So yeah, not much has changed. It's kind of been this group for a while.
Well, technically, I was
Nothing.
added in pretty late in the game, so I guess that was a change. But,
You were always there in our
I
hearts.
guess I
Always,
know.
that hole just was there
in
waiting
your
for you to fill
revisionist
it.
history, I've been there the whole
Yes.
time.
Yes, not the way I remember.
Awesome. Well, Danny, Kennedy, any thoughts on overall?
Oh gosh. Kids, yes, is a very big one. But thinking about it, I think the biggest difference is as I've aged, I've just more embraced who I am. So when I was younger, I feel like I put on more personas to match the groups I was in. So it wasn't really my genuine self. So it was just kind of depressing to think about. And I didn't really start just, embracing it and accepting who I was until probably around when I met Trevor. So halfway through high school. But elementary school, I wasn't quite there yet. That was just everyone's there to have a good time. But yeah, once you kind of start becoming your own person, I was just trying to copy and paste what other people were doing around me, and it worked, but I'm not friends with those people anymore, and it's probably a good thing.
Yeah. How about you, Danny?
I mean, for me, I think if you're talking best friends or close friends, I would say not much has changed. Still have a bunch of old friends from school, high school, college, Trevor, Kennedy, classic friends, been there for a good amount of time.
Like a fine wine.
I think
better with age.
fine wine.
Yep.
I think in terms of things changing, I've definitely gotten better at making new friends at work. obviously they're not like super close friends, but I used to at workplaces, I didn't really open up too much because I was like, "Oh, I wouldn't be close to you at all outside of work, so I'm not even gonna like crack
Oh.
jokes
Yeah.
or anything." So I was like, "What's the point of like being anything except for just like neutral with people at work?" So I think that's something I've definitely embraced more over time. Obviously everything you guys have touched on, kids, being more unique and just genuine in myself, I think has been up there. I think
The age thing is
probably,
different.
yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were done, Danny. Keep going.
No, I was just gonna say, I think how I connect with friends has probably been the biggest change over the 10 years. Because of the lack of time, like I don't have time to connect over like, sports as much recreationally, or, it's harder to connect over church because people go to different churches now. Like Trevor said, people are living in different states. So I think it's definitely only way I really connect now is, and I don't drink coffee, so that's a
Oh,
very classic one.
Immediately removes
immediately
Only
no.
friends lost.
90% of the population.
What was your question, Trev?
I wasn't not a question, just one thing I was gonna add to. Like, it's weird now because, like, obviously when we were growing up, like, you kind of felt like the age groups I felt like you hang out with were closer, right?
Mhm.
So, like, in college, you guys were mostly the same age or relatively close. So, like, when I was younger, I didn't think about people being older or anything like that. But now that I'm 28 and getting closer to 30, like some people at like work and stuff like that are younger than me, and like it like not that they do it on purpose, but like sometimes like they will make me feel older than I actually am. And so like I have like so that's interesting about friends and like stuff like that. It's like, come on guys, I'm not that old.
Right.
So like that's different. And
Yeah.
like I'm not. I'm 28, right? So like but like the whole no all facts no cat like that makes me feel old. Like
Mhm.
music nowadays makes me feel old. I can't click on new music really well with other people. Like
Yeah.
that's a
Scared to
thing.
do
Like
it.
I've become the grumpy old man. Like if you're on my lawn, I'm not gonna be happy. Like fun is not around me.
Mm-mm.
But I'm also like I don't know. I've always not been like really like a wild party person. I don't go to parties, never did. So like my
Mhm.
scenes were like sports, like church, at work, and so like I don't know. That doesn't change too much, but the age thing definitely has changed. Now that I think
Yeah.
about it, like being
Well, yeah.
wise.
Yeah, that's something that I was gonna talk about is, like, when you are younger, basically, friends happen the most organically when it's, like, circumstances, right? Like, it's just like relationships, like, if you're in the same proximity as someone, there's a much more likelihood that you're gonna, like, have a relationship with them, whether it's a friendship
Mhm.
or whatever. So, like, school is, like, a huge where most kids find the most friends, or church, or, like, wherever they just are. And so, like, that's what it's like up until, like you said, you graduate college usually, and then you're kind of like, "Wait, now what?" Especially if you have a relationship or a significant other, it's really easy to just, like, kind of be in your own world and not, like, branch
Mm-hmm.
out. But then when you have kids, like, the age thing is interesting because your peers become now whoever has the same age kids as you,
Mhm.
which could be
Yeah.
way younger or way older. So it's, like, really interesting how that changes because now it's like, well, I'm in the same peer group as people who are, like, almost 10 years older than me, or, like, 5, 6 years younger than me, so it's super interesting.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I feel the opposite of Trevor because I have a kid and I'm the same. Like some of my friends or peers at work have kids and are older than me. So like
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, you're so young to have a kid." And I'm like, "Come on, guys, I'm not that young."
Right.
Like I'm the old one of this group, but like it's normal for me in my workspace to be the youngest one to have a kid. So it's like
Hmm.
it's interesting, It's definitely like everyone's making these references, and I'm like, oh, like Trevor, but the opposite. I'm like, I don't know that one. That was before my time.
Well, it's
I know
before
it may
my
seem
time.
like that, but
You have to feel young somewhere, it's okay.
I feel young at heart. Yeah. not
That's
it's
where
not
it
the
counts.
body anymore.
Yeah. I also feel like age, once you get past a certain thing, just doesn't actually even matter.
Right,
Like
it becomes life stage more so.
yeah, and like people that can be older, like there's 40-year-olds that I know like are less mature and don't have like like their lives quote unquote together,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't matter. And then there's like younger people that I'm like, okay, calm down. But
Yeah.
it's interesting because age eventually doesn't really play a factor. I feel like.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know, now we're just talking about age, but
Yeah.
it's just, like, interesting because it's easy to, like, look back on or, like, I have friends that are significantly younger than me, some of them, and they have their lives together so much more than I did at that age, and that's the thing that I hate the most because it makes me feel like
Mm.
I wasted my life. Anyway, we're moving on.
Gosh.
Or,
Oh
like, if
man.
I was, like if I knew what I know now when I was
Mhm.
younger, like, I would probably have made different decisions, especially in friendships. I guess I'll just ask, what are some of the factors that you guys feel like make it hard to make new friends in this stage of life or just as adults in general?
You look
I
like you're
mean,
gonna talk. Okay, yeah,
I
go
will
ahead.
Oh, if
always
her
talk.
mouth was like,
I
I
know,
mean,
I was like,
I will always talk, but I don't want to always go first. But I'll go talk. I talk.
I'll talk. I'll go first. That's fine.
Okay.
Um, Personally, I think for me, it's been harder to make friends, obviously, in this stage of life, but it's been hard to make friends since after COVID. I don't know what it is, but it
Mm.
feels like people are like less likely to open up about their personal selves, which is like how you create friends, or it's how you grow bonds if you like find a common ground or something you're interested in, right? And it's
Mhm.
like, I'll shoot the I'll shoot the I'll talk with
Breeze.
some people,
Yeah, that's it.
and grocery store, in line, for whatever, and it's just like it's hard to make that connection because people are just like not as I don't know if it's friendly or people are just like a little more guarded, whatever it is. It feels like it's harder to make friends, even at like different get-togethers where I don't know someone if it's like a party or something. It's like it's interesting because I feel like that wasn't the case before COVID, or at least to a certain extent. So that's what I personally feel like.
I get that, but you also called me out in the past about talking too much at checkout stations. So
True.
maybe you're the problem.
You are not likely to
I
talk.
haven't met one of you before, so
Yeah. No, I get that. I do think there's been a social change after
Uh,
COVID just with the world. I mean, those things do change, but I don't know. Like I personally haven't seen that too much, but that just could be because we live in different areas of the country too. I
hmm.
find it more difficult to make friendships now because like we don't have the same moral compasses, and like it's really hard to find like you guys like we align on a lot of how we feel about the world, how we feel about like families and just
Mhm.
like what's important to us. And it's hard for me to find someone else like that. One, because they might not, like what Danny said, be willing to open up, or two, there's just going to be a difference in there that I won't be able to click with. And that doesn't mean I won't be friends with them, but it just means I won't get close with them.
Yeah, I
Dang.
agree.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I could add. I I was wondering what it was, but I think Danny kind of hit the nail on the head because there's been some people that I've met recently, and yeah, they just feel more guarded, or it's like our friendship can only be so much, and then like that's it. Like, oh, we
Mhm.
just do play dates. Let's say if it's like a mom friend, it's like
Right.
interesting. I think what's harder trying to make friends when you're older is, at least for me, is having the lifestyles match up. Like, I'm super low key, really chill in my ripe old age of 28. And so meeting someone who's like a few years younger, if they're like in the party scene and stuff like that, it's really hard for me to get into. It's like that's like not me anymore. Like I
Mhm.
did that when I was when I was your age. So it's I don't know, and I don't know why that is. I think when you're younger, your lives are just kind of all very similar. It's about having fun, and there's not so much going on in the world that you're aware of. And so when you're older, that stuff impacts you more. So maybe it's like being, quote, stuck in your ways, and we're
Mhm.
just not as what's the word? Not flexible. That sounds weird. Just we're just more resistant to things that are different. But
Yeah.
that's what I've kind of noticed as I've aged, as I am aging.
It's interesting. Trevor, you brought up, well, you both brought up like having the same like values as your friends or like lifestyle, but and I agree. And I also think like after COVID, the world just got weirder and everyone just got more set in their ways, which isn't necessarily a
Mhm.
bad thing, but I do think that people are less open to being close with people who have differing views on other things than before that. And I wanted to pose the question to the group. Do you guys think there's value in having friendships with different views than yourself?
I think there's something to pull from all walks of life,
Mhm.
and it's just I don't know. I think it's good to like get out of your comfort zone or step outside the box a little bit. And
I'm on the fence with this question because part of me thinks that yes, it's nice to have a different perspective on some things, like so,
Mhm.
quote unquote, play the devil's advocate because maybe you are wrong, right?
Mhm.
You might think you're right. You're not always going to be right, and most of the time you can both be right or you can both be wrong, or that you're both. So like having someone a different perspective or just a view on life
Mhm.
to an extent is probably a good thing. And I know I've had people different views in my life, like change my perspective on life before and giving me insight. So it's beneficial.
Mhm.
I don't talk to those people anymore. So what kind of friendship are you looking for? Are you looking for kind of a surface level friendship that can come and go? Or are you looking for like a deep friendship? Because like I have one friendship I can think of that's still current, and I think we have pretty deep friendship. We've been friends since high school, but we have some different views on certain things, and it does like strain my relationship with that
Mhm.
person because like I don't want it to be awkward, but we don't want to talk about that subject because we're both very passionate about this. So
Mhm.
like we're close and we do it and we have fun and we're good, but if certain things come up, it's just kind of like annoying
Yeah.
almost to that point because like we're just not going to agree on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think I agree. I think there's value in some like hearing the other perspective and also just not like knowing what the opposite view is from someone who
Mhm.
actually has it can be helpful, but I think like both sides of like certain controversial issues feel the same way. And they feel both sides feel like the other person doesn't respect them. And so it's
Mhm.
like as much I just think it's good to have open conversations with friends, but I don't think it's super easy to be really close when you have opposing views on certain things from both sides because both people on hot button topics have
Mhm.
really
Mm.
passionate, strong,
Yeah.
Well,
opinions. And
let's
you see that with family all
yeah.
the time. That's why family is sometimes butts heads because you still are close, but you have different views. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and like let's break that down too, right? Because like let's say you're going through a difficult time and you go to that person and they offer you advice or they don't side with you. Like that's going to really hurt
Mm,
that interaction, right?
right.
Because like you somewhat know what support you need.
Mhm.
And you can't if you feel like you can't go to that person for that support because they're going to have a different opinion or they're going to like say no, you're in the wrong, that might not
Yeah.
be what you're looking for. It might actually be what you need,
Right.
but that can I think that could be really negative.
I just want to clarify too, though, like, I even if you can't be super close with someone who has a totally opposite view on a certain thing, which I don't think anyone really can, whatever your view is, like, I personally like to be willing to talk to anybody who's willing to
Mhm.
talk to me about what they think and, like, have a respectful conversation as long as everyone is able to be respectful.
Yeah.
So, but I do think that is a little bit of a lost art these
Yeah.
Respect?
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Pretty much. Um, so
I do
yeah.
remember back in high school for one of our soccer trips, we had uh it was a really good debate. There was a Seventh Day Adventist, a Mormon, and an atheist, and myself all having a conversation. And we're on the same team. We all got along just fine. But it was very interesting conversation to see all of our different
Mhm.
Yeah.
perspectives on life.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I kinda like hearing different opinions, and sometimes that helps me to solidify my decision and things because 'cause I'm hearing it from
Mhm.
all sides, and I also kind of like, in a sense it's almost challenging us to love and accept people for what makes them different or unique. You don't have to agree, and maybe that opens conversation for other things. Let's just like take religion for example. Like,
Mhm.
let's say there is an atheist and you're a Christian, like that brings opportunity there, so to speak. But
Mhm.
just not only choosing to love people that are just like you or align with you, but to also acknowledge, everyone else that fills this world. So, because
Agreed.
it could be hard, as like we see, you're wrong,
Yeah.
I'm right, blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah.
It's
Define
crazy.
love.
Oh boy, the evil.
Yeah, because that's a different conversation.
Yeah, that's not this episode. Yeah. I don't know. I do think having the same it's just again, it's friendships are a relationship. And so it's similar to
Mhm.
like being in a relationship with someone is like you should I don't know, like to go so deep, you do kind of have to be aligned on certain things.
Yes. Oh
Like
yes.
Trevor said, like there are certain people I'm going to go to in times of distress because I know that they're going to pray for me or something like that.
Mhm.
Whereas like a friend who is an atheist is still my friend and I still love them, but like they're not someone who's going to like align with me on certain things. So
Correct. Yes.
it's all about that depth. Have you guys had many like falling outs with friends over the years? Or have you just had friendships that grow apart naturally? What has been your experience with that?
I don't think I've had any falling outs, which I'm glad. Like, I think they've just naturally, at least from my side, they've all naturally drifted. And a lot of it has been just hitting different stages in life. So, like, when I got married, a lot of like the single friends kind of naturally drifted away. And I, we also got married young, 21. Like, so that was just kind of weird. I don't understand why that happened. But then, like, I met and had quite a few work friends, but it was a lot of like weird, goofy, immature friendships.
Hmm.
So then as I aged, those kind of died off because I was just maturing with every year kind of a thing. And like they went off and did different things too. And like then I started having kids. So I started losing all of the people that didn't have kids because we just couldn't like relate.
Hmm.
Like I still remember I was with one friend and we were talking about relationships and I had only ever had one relationship and they had had multiple relationships and there was just this weird divide where we couldn't like meet or agree on something. Like they felt I didn't have enough experience to give advice because I had only been with one relation or like in one
Oh, wow.
relationship. And it's like, well, I feel like I do come from a place where I can speak about this. Um, but yeah, and then just living in different areas was a huge one.
Yeah.
So it's interesting then to look at the four of us, how we like different states still make it work and like people
Yes.
can move like a couple hours away and like we just aren't friends anymore because it's just too hard.
Mhm. Yeah. Trevor, any
I don't think I've had any specific falling out with friends. Like, like I said that very specifically. um, but yeah, I think it's a natural drifting apart. Like I've never been in a full blown argument, I would say, with a friend. Like I
Mm.
can't even think like a disagreement. I too tend to like get along with a lot of people and like I just I'm pretty easygoing in that sense. Like if I don't like something, I'll just walk away. Um, I don't really give into like peer pressure or anything like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna be Danny because I feel like I could, I still have said things. I have nothing to add here. No, that's tough. Yeah, I think a lot of it's just naturally drifting away. Like a lot of it for me too, I think, is like time management. Like if there was more time in the day, I feel like I could have more friends. But like
Yeah.
I'm gonna make time for what's important to me, and I think that's part of the reason why we work because we really enjoyed playing and hanging out together. So like we make time for that and make it work.
Right.
Obviously, kids make time, Kennedy make time, and then family make time, and obviously you have work. So like at some point, it just becomes too much to have all these different friend groups because there's just so much going on in your life.
Yeah.
But I think that's why most of mine faded.
Well, I was gonna say I personally haven't had falling outs with friends, but I've had friends in a friend group fall out with each other, and that
Oh,
is interesting as well
Caught in
because
the middle.
you're like
Yikes.
you're getting strays from both sides. It's
Oh,
like
no.
in the Harry Potter
Mhm.
movie when Ron and Harry are like, Hermione,
Yes.
tell them
You were the
this.
Hermione in the situation.
Hermione, tell him this.
Yeah.
That's definitely not fun. And that did kind of cause me to have a little bit of like not a falling out, but like I definitely grew distant from both friends
Mm.
from that situation.
Yeah. That is not
That's
fun.
very
Yeah, it
sad.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I haven't been able to crack this one, and I I'm trying to find the words for it because I don't wanna come off like I think I'm a perfect person or that, like, I'm the best friend to have kind of a thing.
But you are.
But I am no, no, no. No, I feel like a lot of times throughout the course of my life and my friends, I've kind of been second choice to other friends who are almost more, like, toxic or negative to that person. Like,
Hmm.
it would just, like, for example, they would, let's say, complain about this friend, like, "Oh, they do this to me," or, "I don't like that they do this," or blah, blah, blah. But then, like, that would be their best friend, and they'd keep gravitating towards this person when it just was a negative person. Or,
Mm.
going back to when I said, the one friend felt like I had no place to stand on talking about relationships because I only had one. So it felt like I wasn't like messed up enough to be a close friend. Like I was just too normal or boring. And like I
You were
never
too healthy.
never understood that. And it was like it made me super self-conscious or like paranoid about losing people. And I think that's why I started with some friendships almost taking on different personas in a way. Like that wasn't really
Mhm.
me because it's like, well, I guess like I'm so lame. I should be more of this or more of that when that wasn't really me. Um,
Yeah.
which is not healthy. Not that I
Getting
did
No.
so
anything
deep.
drastic. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I get you. I think I've definitely done that before too and been a little bit of a shapeshifter in the sense of almost like changing myself to get along with someone a little bit better. And then it just is never the answer because
No.
then they think you're someone that you're not.
Yes.
And then it's not fair to them either because it's like
Mhm.
they think they have a friend that they don't actually have. So I've
Yeah.
totally done that before and it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Um y-
Deep.
yeah, definitely. I think something else that I've experienced is friendships naturally growing apart, maybe like in different life stages, but um that can also, even though it's not necessarily super dramatic, that can also be very painful, if that makes sense. So like I remember um when I was single, like I had a really, really close friend who got into like a relationship and ended up getting married. And like that was really hard on our friendship, even though like she didn't do anything wrong at all. And I was really happy for her. And I
Mm.
was like still trying to be there and like be super happy. But then I was also sad because like the
Oh, yeah.
friendship was changing and we've since like caught up to each other in life stages. So like now everything is great. But like it's just it's definitely like I don't know. I guess maybe for girls especially, like
Mhm.
I think maybe like when a friend maybe gets into a different life stage and kind of like quote like leaves you behind, that can feel really hard too. But that's also very
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's a very good point.
um, has because so in that vein, like has becoming a parent affected any of your friendships in that way, like, or has it affected any positively?
I think it's good that you guys are now parents.
Did you guys feel getting so deep? Did you guys feel like there was like I don't feel like there was a negative strain when
No,
we
I
weren't
just
parents, but
Right, but I think now that you guys are parents, like, when we would struggle to have some gaming nights, and you guys were very patient with us, and I think you guys are pretty
Yeah.
You feel like
understanding,
I
but,
didn't
like,
understand?
I
No.
don't.
I
I
think
don't
it
think you could understand
No.
I
until
think it was
now.
more
The first
guilt
time I
that
held your kid, it was like a disaster.
But, like,
Yeah.
no, I think that goes for anyone who doesn't have, like, their own kids. It's a lot different being your own kid.
And
Yes, and it wasn't like you guys didn't, like, understand because, like, you guys are very patient, and I don't feel like you guys ever judged us. But, like, now that you have a kid, I feel like they know our pain. Like, you guys can
Yeah.
fully understand,
there's
like, it's
Yes.
difficult, and it's
Yes.
not, like, a bad thing. Like, you're happy to be a parent and do all
Right.
that. It's just okay, and you feel a little bad, like, on our side because, like, well, okay, well, now we're making them wait, and,
Yeah.
so, like, it's
like,
just
there was a little guilt.
That's so funny. They
But 'cause
never need to.
we knew you guys, like, that was kind of, like, a goal, like, we knew you wanted to be
Yeah.
parents and stuff, so it was like, "Well, this is what
This
it
is the
is."
reality. Yeah.
My, like, most memorable moment was, like, we were in this intense, like, run or something out, and, like, your kid started to, like, cry, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, why don't they just let him scream or, like, cry himself to sleep?"
I'm like, "No,
Danny!
we never judged you." Meanwhile, Danny's like, "I did."
Like, in the
All
heat of
the
the moment, I was like,
interruptions.
"Come on."
But now you get it. You would never do
Oh
that.
my
Honestly, now I'm surprised you guys even gamed as much as you did.
god.
Seriously, we
I'm
were, like,
too tired
impressed with you
sometimes.
guys. Yeah.
Aw.
lack of sleep.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
worth it.
Trevor
Danny, you
can't
used to
sleep.
be strong with no sleep, and I feel like you've really weakened.
I don't
Like,
know
you
what it
you
is,
Yeah.
but it's just like
yeah.
it's once you get used to, like, going to bed early, it's addicting.
Oh my,
I
Oh,
you
never
once
was
your
sound
strong.
body
I've always been
knows
weak.
what a healthy lifestyle
Yeah.
is, it, like, just wants to stay.
once you get a
Exactly.
full 8 to 9 hours of sleep, like, I can remember things.
Okay, literally, though.
Oh my god.
But
I
I do
know.
Like
think that,
Okay.
like, it legit has, like, I don't know, I'm just changed I'm still not a morning person, but, like,
Mm.
getting up at 7, 6 doesn't bother me as much now. It's like, it's every day, bro. It's
oh,
It
no.
is.
Well, it bothers
It
me
was
still.
6:45 today on my Saturday when
Oh,
but,
goodness.
Anywho,
Yeah.
friendships, they kinda suck, eh?
I know. They're
No, I
hard
just don't
sometimes.
think yeah, I don't know. I do think some of my friendships have changed after I've become a parent, but nothing, like, crazy or dramatic. Just, again, like, people being able to relate to you, and I remember that with other friends that, had kids when I didn't. So, yeah,
Did
very
you guys ever have a
interesting.
friendship that you tried to, like, force and it wasn't
Ugh,
meant to be?
yeah, definitely.
Mm,
What'd you learn
yeah.
from that?
Not to do that.
Yeah, I feel, like, icky, think like, it makes me feel
Mhm.
just gross on the inside, like, it just was so forced, and I don't know, you're just so desperate for friends, like, or even to have, like or in my eyes, like, a lot of friends, it was like, "Man, I'd be lame if I just had, like, a couple close friends. I need to
Yeah.
have all these friends," and it blah.
I do think that it's yeah, it's interesting because there was a time that I was in a friend group, but like Kennedy said, like, I wasn't being myself, and yeah, I just didn't feel seen or known by anybody, but at the same time, I, like, had a lot of friends, but I,
Yeah.
like, didn't
Mhm.
actually have any friends, and the
Right.
craziest part is Danny remembers that, and he judged me based on those people back then, before we knew each
Danny,
other, and he was
such
like,
a
"Oh, I wouldn't
judger.
date her because of her friends."
Oh my
Little did he
gosh.
know I wasn't like
Wow.
them,
Oh.
but
You know what's
yeah.
weird too? Like, I don't know. I haven't had that problem. Okay, 'cause everyone loves me. I don't have to force friendship. But, like,
Yeah.
my strongest friendships are all from gaming or,
Yeah.
like, board games, even like that. So, like, some of the friends I still hang out with play D&D. That's a pretty good group,
Mhm.
right? And then, like, besides you guys, most of my all my the other friends I have, I wish I could hang out with them in person. It's not like I don't, but they just, again, live in other states. But like, I would open up to them about like personal issues I have, and it's just all talk over there. But like, again, it's the only source you have is just talking, so you have to talk to be deep. I don't know. I don't like people in person sometimes. Oh, I'm becoming a hermit.
Oh,
Why do
no.
you think that is?
I think I don't have the right people near me. Like, if you guys are with me, I think I'd prefer, like, obviously hanging out
Yeah.
in person. Like,
Yeah.
obviously I like to hang out with Kennedy more in person than over computer. Like, that would
We
be
stay in
weird.
separate rooms.
But
That's
like,
good.
there's specifically like a couple people I can think of that I really wish I could hang out with in person. I've never even met them in person, and that I think we would just have a great
So
time.
crazy.
But like, I mean, literally, like this is gonna sound so weird because I think they do it. Like, I'm probably the most awkward about it. But like, they were like, "All right, night, love you, bro," and then it's just like it's just such a wholesome group, and like
Right.
it's interesting.
Would you not say that in person?
I totally would. I'd kiss them right on the lips.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
it's interesting because like they're, again, though, they share like my same morals. We've had a lot of deep talks, right? Now they're Christian gentlemen, and they're like, it's just really like we play the same games and like we have a lot of fun, but it's
Yeah.
again, it comes down to those morals are the same, and I just don't see that in my area as much.
No, I think I was just thinking through all of my friends, I think a lot of them didn't have a similar moral compass to me, so and maybe that's why we drifted apart. But also, I have really struggled with I don't even know why. I've always got along with guys more than girls. I don't know why. I think I just I
Say
don't
it.
want to upset the ladies. Girls are just so annoying sometimes, and like
Wow. Okay.
Got you, Sierra.
Yeah, I can be annoying. It's okay. I
Oh,
accept
I don't
it.
think she's talking about you.
no, that's
No,
why
I
I'm
know,
friends
I
with
know.
you.
I know.
She's
That's
talking about this
interesting.
other girl in our
We're a
chat,
special breed
Danny.
sometimes, and I'm like, you bring shame to our sex. Please stop talking.
Why is
That's
it?
so
Why are they
interesting.
annoying?
I agree with you, Kennedy. I mean, like I work
You
with a
can't
lot
say
of
that.
females now. Like it's
Danny's like, girls suck.
no, it's just like a
Sorry.
lot of the times it's just additional unnecessary random drama. I'm just like,
Drama.
wait, this was
Like
completely
so much.
unavoidable. Like why did we get to this point?
It's not all girls.
No, not at
No,
all.
it's not. It's definitely not all girls.
See,
Like
I've
I
had the opposite. I've always had friends with more girls than guys.
See, I've only had like I didn't talk to a guy till I was like
See,
18.
I didn't talk. Same. I didn't talk to men till I was 21. Like,
I think I was just on a totally different wavelength. Like girls just always seemed, and again, yes, it's not all girls,
Right,
but like
right.
more high strung. Yeah, just more drama, more gossip. I'm like, let's chill. We're gonna go play some sports.
Right.
No
You
one
did play
played video
sports.
games. You were a nerd if you played video games, and that was me. So I don't know. And I always wanted girlfriends, or I mean, just so clicky too in the earlier years. And it's
see,
like,
again, I had the opposite effect because like guys were all douches, like, and they'd only talk about girls, and like in high school, I'm like, this isn't. I'd rather talk about video games and stuff, or just like talk, or just giggle. Like, I don't. I mean, yeah, like, like just.
Why don't guys ever giggle anymore?
We do giggle now that we're old and don't care. Like, I love a good giggle with my homies.
It's so wholesome. I love it.
Come here, Danny. Let's giggle. Come here.
You guys just needed to switch friend groups. Like Trevor needed the guys.
Giggled in my life before. That's such a weird
You have
word.
giggled. I have made you giggle.
I do not giggle.
Everyone needs a good giggle.
But I think I wasn't friends with girls like early on, like in high school, because I did not relate at all to
Which
girls.
confuses me because you had sisters. So I don't get why you didn't
You
get
should have had more
girls.
I
feminine
did not
energy.
relate at all.
I didn't relate either. Like, they were the ones that more, quote, bullied me. I still think about one who was making fun of me for wearing running shoes.
How dare
And I
you?
was like,
Nice.
Whoa.
That's so weird. How could you
yeah,
wear
it was
those?
like, oh,
That's
Kennedy, you're so weird. You wear running shoes. I was like, Mom, I need a new pair of shoes.
Oh my
Golly.
gosh.
I mean, I
That's
was
true. I mean,
wearing
I've definitely experienced like weird frenemy bullying as a child.
yes.
Like that
That's when
sucked.
passive aggressiveness was starting.
Mhm.
Like, I was wearing basketball shorts up until like 7th grade. All the girls would, I don't know. I just wanted to play outside and have fun, and they were like, not about that.
Aw.
I was some dirty kid with
With
worms
running
outside
shoes.
with running shoes, playing
That's
soccer with
so
the
sad.
boys. I was probably annoying in that sense. She's not playing with the boys.
But yeah, I don't know. I
They
don't
all
think
felt threatened by you.
Were there not any girls playing soccer?
No, there were, but then they were still gossiping about boys or dating, like cycling through the same guy. It's like, what
Oh
happening?
gosh.
There was always like one or two other girls I could bond with that were nerds, but we were like the weirdos on the team. Everyone
Hmm.
sat there and we were here. I was like, this is so
At
cool.
least you had someone else, you know?
Yes.
So
So
we
funny.
to recap, girls are annoying. All girls are annoying and unfriendshipable.
Perfect.
Guys like to giggle
And are all douches.
and all douches.
That's exactly
Well,
where
they
I
like to
wanted
giggle
this to
when they're
go.
older.
Yeah. No one's gonna be
Really,
our
we're
friends
just
anymore.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, basically my advice is just don't be friends with people who are passive aggressive towards you, no matter how old you are, because that's so
Yeah.
silly and
Oh.
ridiculous. But anyway, what are your guys' tips for making friends in adulthood?
Don't
If you have
force
any.
it.
Okay, yeah, good.
Just like listen, in adulthood, like time is everything and you're
Very
running out
true.
of it.
Oh.
So don't force it. If it's meant to be like a friendship will make it, like obviously it will take, all relationships take some work. Okay.
Mhm.
That's just natural. But like if you're kind of like, hey, asking all the questions and like being the one to always reach out or asking to hang out,
Mhm.
and they don't ever reach out first, and like I would cut your losses right away. Obviously they're not
Yeah.
interested enough to reach
Yeah.
out to you or ask you questions, and so like cut your losses. And I take that to heart because I know I will recognize, like I have a couple of friends too, like right before we got on here I was like, okay, this person's reached out to me like 4 or 5 times to play, and I'm not necessarily saying no, but like it's my turn. I saw he was online, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna reach out to him to see if he wants to play.
Mhm.
Like I will catch myself, eating my own words in that sense. I'm like, no, this guy's putting in some effort. I need to put in some effort too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good
Yeah.
advice. Or like give it a couple times. Like if you reach out once or twice, or I don't know, it's like if you notice you're always the one trying to make something happen,
Mhm.
it's like it sucks, but yeah, sometimes it's good to just be like, okay, well, I'll just wait and see
Yeah.
when the next time they like the ball is kind of in their
But
court kind of
you don't
thing.
also want to wait too long and just be like the occasional friend that's like,
But I'm saying
my other friends are busy,
if you've
so
reached out a bunch of times
right.
and they say no, it's like, okay, let's see if they reach out. And if they don't, it's like, okay, well, maybe I'm not a
Right, and then they
priority
reach
for
out
them.
3 months later and be like, "Hey, I miss you so much. I haven't talked in so long. We should catch up." Like that's not that's not a friend, right? Like in my opinion. In my
Yeah.
opinion, like that's like a time capsule friend. They pop up for like 3 seconds to say hello, but like they're not going to actually have your back in a fight, like
In a
yeah.
fight. Oh. Is that how you judge your friends?
Yeah, if they can have my back
Who
in a
can I
fight while
take-
giggling, we're going to be set.
I guess over the years, I have lost a lot of friends. And like, I don't mean to say that like in a bad way, but it's like I've grown apart from different people, had a lot of falling outs. And I know that like I've probably been at fault in like like not most of the situations, but everybody there's two sides, right? Like it takes
Mhm.
two people. But I think something that's happened to me over the years, and I think it's because again, me trying to be a chameleon and like get along with people so well is like people think that I'm closer to them than I actually am. And so like
Mm,
I end up almost like leading them on in a sense accidentally. And like
mm.
and then I think like, oh, like I'm not that like they don't care about me that much. Like we're just like casual friends. But then it's like we're not. So they think it's like way deeper and then they get hurt when
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that. And so it's like it's
Mm.
so weird and yeah, I don't know how I've had to learn to kind of almost like have more boundaries with people and like cuz I feel like I can get along with people really well sometimes. Like talk for a long time or like certain people I can like get along with really well, but that doesn't necessarily mean I wanna be, like, deep friends and, like, give them a lot of time, so it's like it's
Mm.
hard sometimes to have to, like, pull back and be like, "Wait, I could connect with this person right now if I said this, but I actually don't I'm not gonna say that because then it's gonna go deeper
Yeah.
than I want it to." And then
Yeah.
they're gonna or like, "I wanna get coffee with this person," but if I get coffee with them, then it's, like, committing to, like, more friendship, and I know that sounds really cynical, but it's like, again, like Trevor said, you only have so much time, you know? I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got anyone else has experienced that, but that's
Um,
been a big theme over my life.
Like I haven't had that exact thing because like it's almost like my view on like marriage, right? Like
mhm.
I'm not dating someone to just have a good time. Like I'm dating someone because I want to marry them.
Right.
I'm not having a friendship or going to get coffee with someone unless I'm looking for like a friendship that like has meaning behind it. I'm not
Mhm.
saying like your coffee friendships don't have meaning because that's that's the some people like those kind of
Yeah.
relationships. But I'm not gonna want to like if I'm looking for someone to go get coffee with, I'll go get coffee with Kennedy.
Mhm.
Like, if I need someone to, like, go to, like, I wanna like, my friends, I should be able to go, like, a concert or, like, drinking or, like, something like that with, like,
I
that
just
kind
get
of
coffee,
like,
thanks.
well, you're my friend, so we can go to concerts and drink. You're fine. But does that make sense? Like, I wouldn't even I can't relate to that because I wouldn't even wanna just have a coffee friend.
Right. I think I just get caught up in like, oh, it's fun to like talk to someone for a while and like get to know them and listen to them. It's like fun to like talk, but then I'm
Interesting.
like, yeah, I have had to start adopting your mindset more of like,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't necessarily want to invest that time unless it's like a longer
I
term
agree
thing.
with you though. It is fun to like talk to someone and get a little like a little piece of pie of their life. Like it
Yeah.
is fun to like just get a little tidbit and just like kind of understand them a little bit. I do that like through work and like social gatherings.
Right. Yeah.
Very interesting. I've always been a fan of, like, now smaller groups because it
Hmm.
comes down to, like, your time and energy and putting that into your close circle. And, I mean, everyone functions differently. Some people need a lot of people in their life, and, like, for me, I just need a couple people, and I like it's just easier to manage, and I can invest myself more in that friendship and build upon it or become closer with those people because I just have that time and energy
Yeah.
to invest in it.
As a final wrap up, my best tips for making friends, new friends, if you'd like to, if you're at that stage in life, is like Trevor was saying, find people who have similar interests to you and like go somewhere that you'll go regularly. And then those friendships will develop. So whether that's like a class or like
Mhm.
church or something like that where you'll go regularly, you'll make friends more naturally. That was like my best tip.
Yeah.
For maintaining friendships, I would say put in effort, but also respect each other's time and know
Mhm.
that you don't have to talk all the time to be
Yeah.
good friends.
Yeah,
It
you
doesn't
shouldn't have
mean,
to.
yeah, even if you've spent time apart, don't get hurt by that right off the bat. Like try to reconnect, and hopefully you can just pick up where you left off. And that's
Yeah,
a sign of a good
honestly.
friendship. Anyone else have any last sage words?
Oh,
Or did we
man.
hit it all?
I think you just need to be yourself, and then the people who like that energy will gravitate towards you, kind of a thing.
Mm,
And then you'll find, I mean, I think that's just the best way to relate is to be yourself, because your morals are also going to come out too, and you're just going to find like-minded individuals. I would say that way. So be unapologetically yourself.
love it.
To an extent, like friendships is not a marriage. Like you're not becoming one person. Like friendships, you don't have to be utterly selfless in
Mhm,
them. Like you don't have to be the only one giving. So understand that like
mhm,
if someone's just taking from you, that's not a healthy friendship, and be willing to end it. So
mm,
understand that like a friendship is supposed to both build each other up. It's not supposed to be a one-way street. And it's not in sickness and in health. You don't do vows with friendships, right? So understand that's a
mhm,
stopping point.
mm.
Um, and besides that, giggle and reinforce that you do actually like spending time with that other person. Like
Yes.
Danny's gonna shake his head at me, but like, yeah, the other person might not know too. Like, like you don't have to profess your love to them, but just say, hey, man, I really do appreciate our friendship. I thank you. Like, just it doesn't have to be
Yeah,
super sappy, but like they don't know what you're thinking, like a normal
that's true.
relationship. So like it can be just a simple, hey, man, this has been really fun. Thank you for inviting me out. Can go a long way.
Mm. Danny, last nugget?
I think Trevor's word of advice isn't too like profound, but like it's something that is like very unsaid, unspoken in guy relationships specifically. So if you listeners are like, oh, that's not that interesting, that's not that crazy. It's more so just because like guys don't say that often, so it is kind of like a rare occurrence. What I will say is, even though you generally should make friends with someone who you have some interest with, and there are some things to be said about connecting with someone over similar moral values. It doesn't mean that you can't have friends that are not in your same bubble, so to speak. We talked about it earlier, but there is like some good that can come from having friends that are just who you normally wouldn't be friends with, that your normal idea of a friend is. So whether it's age, gender, race, whatever it is, like
Mhm.
I have some wild friends out there, and just they're some of the coolest friends I have. So yeah, don't let that deter you from making friends.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, thanks guys for this little, I don't know, low key episode, but I think some good little nuggets of wisdom were shared. So thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye. Enjoy your chicken nuggets of
Bye-bye.
wisdom.
Bye. Chicken nuggets.
Hey, Sierra here. Thanks so much for listening. If you made it this far into the episode, you're definitely one of the good ones. So please give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe to our show wherever you listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hope you have a great week. Catch you next time.